The FIFA World Cup is a couple days away now, and we wanted to really hit hard on the FIFA World Cup over the back two segments. So, on this segment, we're going to talk about our personal top 10 teams. We'll all give a power ranking 1 through 10 for the best teams in the FIFA World Cup. And we'll start from 10, and I will start, and I'm going to go with Colombia. Colombia was a team that I had at 9 a couple weeks ago, but I dropped them down to 10. I think the Colombia national team is really good in the offensive side of things, but I think where they were in 2024, that undefeated streak team, they're just not that team anymore. I think they may have peaked a little bit too high, a little too early. But I still think that this team has the players to get a dark horse World Cup championship run in them. So give me Colombia at number 10. Sergio, what's your number 10?
I've also got Colombia at 10,
Yeah,
kind of
you're
for
good.
the same reasons.
Okay.
So
Sounds good. Daniel?
Call me crazy, right? Same
So,
same
no,
colors.
I will
as the flag.
call you crazy right now.
I'm putting Ecuador at 10.
Oh, okay, all right.
I love this defense. I think Ecuador has one of the best defenses in this tournament and this midfield as well. I know you have the likes of Moises Caicedo who's able to drop back into defensive coverage as well. Well, while I don't think this is going to be a fun style of football to watch because it'll be a lot of defensive football, I
Harambe.
think that exactly. But I think they are a sneaky contender to go very far in this tournament just because of how good their defense is. Now
Yeah,
you have the likes of Enner Valencia, at attack, and I know
but
there's
it's
a
just
couple
him.
others I can't name. Yeah, it's really him. There's a couple others I can't name that I do know, but
Is
it's
Paez
just
still on Ecuador?
yeah. Paez is still
Yeah.
playing. I know there's Federico Viñas, I think too. No, he's
Yeah.
Uruguayan. There's someone else. I'm thinking someone else.
Mm.
But yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
Ecuador
I
for
echo
10.
those sentiments for sure. I think Ecuador's defense is probably top 5 in the world. I mean, to go into CONMEBOL qualifying and only allow the amount of goals that they did, I think it really shows that they're a really good team. But I have real concerns with their offense. I think I'm just questioning where those goals are going to come from. Moises Caicedo was scoring goals in the 2022 World Cup, but you really can't rely on that 100%. Enter Valencia was just in the Golden Boot race somehow from the start of that tournament. So I like Ecuador. I don't know if I like them in my top 10, but I think they're a good team to have. I'm going to move on to my number 9, and it is the Dutch, the Netherlands. They were originally my number 7 team a couple weeks ago. I've dropped them down to 9 2 spots. I think this Dutch team, they have a little bit of an injury issue, and that's part of the reason why I dropped them. Jeremy Frimpong is out. Xavi Simons is going to be out. But I still think the team is constructed really well. They have an underrated midfield, in my opinion. I think this midfield is really, really good. They still have Cody Gakpo up top who can score goals. He scored a goal for Liverpool over these last couple of years. And I think that Cody Gakpo is still a good player. He had a really good 2022 World Cup as well. So I'm kind of expecting a World Cup like that. The defense, Mickey Van de Ven is still there. Virgil van Dijk is still there. Their goalkeeper, I think, could be a little bit of an issue, but they have players that are at top quality around the entire pitch, whether that be the defense, the midfield, or the attack. So the Netherlands is my number 9 team. I do have a little bit of an issue with their injuries, but I still think that they can get past some of the lower level and even teams that are on the same level as them. So yeah, give me the Dutch.
okay, I'm gonna go with Senegal for my 9 team.
Okay,
Need an African team in there, and they've been good
for sure.
Everything that I've seen, about them, just everywhere is that they've got just a good team overall, and they
Yeah.
lost to Morocco in the Africa Cup, right?
So
I don't
yeah,
know.
that's a little bit of a contentious thing. So technically, Senegal beat Morocco, but
Yeah.
because of a what was it, like an appeal from Morocco towards
Yeah.
the CAF, which is the African
Uh-huh.
Confederation. They got given the African Cup of Nations. So yeah, there's a bit that's a crazy story for another day that I'll talk to you about. But
Then
that's quite funny. Yeah, Senegal technically I would say did win the AFCON, but there's contentious
That's
situations.
so
All
funny.
right, Daniel,
Okay.
what's your number 9 team?
so my number 9 is gonna be Belgium. I think
Okay.
no matter what, when we go into these World Cup years, I think Belgium is always they're always gonna be in the race. You know, they're always gonna be talked about because realistically, Belgium has some pretty good history from these past couple World Cups of just how good they've done. And just again this year, we saw a bit in the FIFA windows how they played against the United States and Mexico. Yeah, well, they're not tough opponents. They still played pretty good, and just I think Doku up there is the key to this attack this time around. He's young. He's I think he's one of the better attackers in the Premier League, and just the
Yeah.
fact that he's got the midfielder I like to call in KDB. Granted, he's a lot older now. This is most likely his last World Cup. I
Yeah.
think they I think they still a chance for this team to make a run, go far.
Yeah, Belgium was a team that I think I was really low on last year, but they've kind of grown on me a little bit over these last couple. They didn't grow on me enough to the point where they were in my top 10, but I have them right outside of it. I have them currently sitting at 14. So and they have a group that I think they have the chance to make a deep run because of the permutations of how this knockout stage would work out if they were to win the group. So I think that certainly lends itself to Belgium possibly making a deep run in this tournament. All right, let's go through these quickly because yeah, we spent a lot of time on those first two segments. Number 8 for me is going to be Germany. They went up from number 12 to number 8 for me in this ranking. Yeah, sure, they have some injuries as well. Leonard Karl is going to be out, which sucks for Germany, but they still have some great attacking threats in Jamal Musiala and Florian Wirtz. And the striker position, I will say, is one where I am interested to see how they play. They have Kai Havertz up there, but can the goals kind of continue for this team? But yeah, Germany I think is a really good team still. Their defense, I think Schlotterbeck and Tah will be good enough for this team, but that offense still has some dynamite in it. And Joshua Kimmich, I think, is one of the best CDMs who can also play fullback for this team. Yeah, so give me Germany at number 8.
In light of the information I just learned, give me Morocco for 8.
Okay. Yeah. Morocco's a good team for sure.
Yeah.
Daniel, what's
Yeah.
your number 8?
8, I'm gonna put Portugal. I feel
Okay.
like I should have put them a little bit higher, but just with some of these teams that are up there, I think they're all pretty even. But I think
Yeah.
this is the one of the best midfields in the tournament this year. And then you have Ronaldo. You're always gonna have a
Yeah.
chance with Ronaldo, no matter what.
Well, you see
Eh,
Ronaldo versus Chile, dude. That header was
41-year-old
comedy,
Ronaldo.
man. My number 7. My number 7, real quick, is Morocco. I think that regardless of what happened at AFCON, this team is still really good. They have a lot more expectations put on them. I had them at number 11 a couple weeks ago, but I think their friendlies have looked good. They drew Norway 1-1. They have had a couple of close wins in the past couple of friendlies. I think Morocco's a really good team. Brahim Diaz is playing phenomenal for them. Ashraf Hakimi, still one of the best fullbacks in the league. Won the Champions League trophy with PSG. They have a lot of sauce in that team, and I still think that you can argue the 2022 team was a better team, but I think that 2026 is just as good, with a little bit of a better top star. I think Brahim Diaz being their top star is and Hakimi. I think they're better than 2022, so that's why I'll put Morocco at number 7. Sergio, what's your number 7?
Number 7 for me is going to be Germany. They're just a team that's always there. They're always going to be good. So I have them at
Yep.
7.
Die Mannschaft.
Yeah.
All right, Daniel.
Number 7. So my number 7 is gonna be Brazil. I think this Brazil team is being
Wow.
very, very overestimated right now in the sense that a lot of people are kind of doubting just who they called up, and
Hmm.
just the recent performances with new manager. Technically, I'll still call him new manager, Carlo Ancelotti. I
Yeah.
think the performances haven't quite been there, when there were the qualifiers and these friendlies. But I think when it comes World Cup time, that team will turn up no matter what. I easily look for this team to win their group and then do something come knockout stages. Now I know they
Yeah.
don't have the best of luck as of recently, but I think something can be done with this Brazil team, especially with
Yeah.
it being Neymar's last.
Yeah. Um, yeah, for sure. I'll have them a little bit higher on my list. My number six, I have England. I had England originally at number four a couple weeks ago. I've dropped them down 2 spots. I think the main reason is I think the selections from Thomas Tuchel, Thomas Tuchel, Tuchel,
Tuchel.
Thomas Tuchel. I was like, I said that wrong. I know that. England, I think again, some of the selections for the roster, I think I don't like as much. Leaving Cole Palmer and Phil Foden. Granted, their Premier League form has not been the greatest, but I think those guys are just dynamite guys that you just bring to the team anyway, right? And so not bringing them in, I think, is going to be an issue. I also think that this team is not necessarily ready for the conditions that they're going to be in. Croatia is going to be a tough game one. I expect them to win all these games, but I don't think that they will. I think they're going to make it a little bit tougher, and I think their path to a successful World Cup is going to be super difficult. I listed obviously that round of 16 game against Mexico, possibly in the Azteca, is going to be a super difficult game for them. I think they can win it for sure, but then you have an Argentina or a Brazil or you have probably a Brazil or like a team of that caliber waiting for you in the quarterfinals. So I still think this England team is great. Harry Kane, baller. Eze, I think can be a baller for this team. I think Declan Rice is still one of the best midfielders in the world. The defense is still decent. They have the name players. They have the players on paper to still do very well at this tournament. So give me England at number six.
Number 6, I've got Portugal. No
Okay.
elaboration.
It's all good.
Yeah,
Daniel.
my number six is gonna be Germany, and I think my main thing about it is that I think this Germany team has a lot of experience when it comes to big tournaments like this, and I just
Yeah.
think that helps prevail you, not feeling as much pressure when you come into the biggest tournament in the world, and just the likes of these players on this team. I think this is another really great team.
Okay. Yeah, my number five. I had a tough, decision between number four and number five for me personally. I'm gonna put Portugal at number five. You said that they're one of the best midfielders in the world. I think they're the best midfield in this tournament for sure. Vitinha, João Neves, and Bruno Fernandes is a ridiculous amount of talent in that midfield. Rafael Leao and CR7 and Gonzalo Ramos being in that attack. I think that's kind of where I find a little bit of struggle for this team. I think they should be able to score goals on end. Hopefully they are clinical with their chances, which I think in some tournaments in the past they just haven't been. The defense is still good with one of the best fullbacks in the world in Nuno Mendes. So I think Portugal has all the chance to get to the final and even win this tournament because of the players that surround Cristiano Ronaldo, not necessarily Cristiano Ronaldo himself, as it has been in the 2014 and 2018 tournament. So Portugal is my number five team. Sergio, what's your number five?
Number 5, I've got Brazil. And this is what I'm about to
Okay.
say is less about the team and more about like casuals like me. It's like all these
Yeah.
like older names, like bigger names like Messi and Neymar and Ronaldo on these like teams. I think it's great that they're on the team, but I think a lot of like for me it's like they're not going to play as much, but I think it's good that those names are a draw for people like me to watch these games and learn about these new up and coming stars that are gonna propel these teams and to championships and stuff like that. So yeah, Brazil at 5 though.
Cool. Daniel, who's your number five?
Number five for me is gonna be the Netherlands. Um, I'm not
Wow.
really gonna add much more than what you said earlier because I think you said it best of how this
Yeah.
team is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sorry to cut you off, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if I would have him that high, but yeah, I like the pick for sure. My number 4 is Brazil. So I think that again, Brazil is a team that last year I had lost a little bit of faith in them. I would have them actually a little bit lower than where I have them now. But even with the injuries that have happened to that attack, I just feel like this team is starting to click again. That win against Egypt was really good. Panama is Panama, but that I mean, drubbing Panama is still impressive, right? And I just think that they have a group that should allow them to have a tough group stage, but set them up for a long run. I think in the last couple of World Cups, their group stage matchups have not been as like tough. Last time around, it was Switzerland, Serbia, Cameroon. The in 2018, I think it was Costa Rica, Serbia, and Switzerland. I think it was the Serbians and the Swiss again in the 2018 group, but add Costa Rica in there. But I think now Scotland being in their group, Morocco being in their group, and Haiti being there in the group, which I think, if nothing else, will be an insane atmosphere. I think it's going to set them up well for this tournament. And I like Endrick and Neymar, as you said, is still going to be there. Rafinha is there. Vinny's there. This is just a loaded roster. And I think they're more England coded, if you would say, in terms that this team is so good on paper that it's hard for me to not put them high on this ranking. So give me Brazil at number 4.
My number 4 team will be England. I know it's Harry Kane's team, and
Okay.
I saw something that he went like crazy during his like regular soccer season, like his club season. So
Yeah.
give me England at
He was
4.
crazy at Bayern Munich, yeah. Cool.
My number 4 is also going to be England. I think I just like the way this England team is, shaping up to be with the roster. I like their group stage. I like their opponents who they're going to play. My only
Mhm.
problem is everything that's coming out with how they're handling, this heat and the humidity and everything that's going on. It makes me wonder how much this team can do. Yeah, they're professional athletes, but this isn't something they really deal with on a regular basis. So it's something to really watch out for. But I think this English team, through all adversity, could do something great.
Yeah, I was looking at their matches. I know they're playing in AT&T Stadium against Croatia. Croatia is their toughest opponent, and it's going to be indoors. So I think that could lend them to a win there. Panama and Ghana are outside, obviously, but I don't think it's going to be that bad for them. I also think that they're complaining a little bit too much because once the game starts, the adrenaline is just going to take over. So whatever. Number 3 for me is Spain. Spain is a phenomenal team when it comes to their attack, the midfield, and the defense. Everything is good for this team. They won the Euros in 2024. I find that it's interesting that Spain has hit a little bit of a goal scoring drought per se, not really like not scoring at all, but they're finding it difficult to score against some of these defenses. They drew Iraq 1-1. Sure, it may have been a rotated roster. That's my only thing with Spain, and maybe with Lamine Yamal coming back from injury, he's going to unlock in a different set of an offense for them. That's the only reason I don't have them at number 1. I have them at number 3. But Spanish fans, you might be happy a little bit later in this episode. But Spain is my number 3 team. I just think they're just loaded all up and down the roster, and I think their group is so easy. They should really, get some momentum out of that. So give me Spain at number 3.
My number 3 team is going to be Argentina. I know that Messi finally got his World Cup last time, but I don't think it's going to happen again. Even though they are a very talented team, I've got Argentina at 3.
Okay.
Be careful, you might make a fan base mad. Oh, but for me, I also have Argentina at number 3. I like the team. I like, you know, they're shaping themselves up to repeat and defend their championship.
Mhm.
I just I I don't think back-to-back champions are really something that happens as often though, and that's like my main thing of why I have them a little low. And I just have two more teams that I think are better than this Argentina team. But with it being Messi's for real last dance, I think this team won't go down without a fight.
Okay. My number two is going to be France. I had this team at number one originally, but their loss to Ivory Coast, I bumped them down one. This team is still stupid in the attack. Like when you have Ryan Cherki and Michael Elise and Kylian Mbappe, as some of your offensive players, and on top of that, you have Taram and just an insane boatload of riches on the offensive side of the ball. This team is going to be so hard to stop from goals being allowed against them. I think Iraq, Senegal, and Norway are going to be bombarded with some goals against this team. They've been to back-to-back World Cup finals, and I still think that this team with Didier Deschamps is good enough to get back to another World Cup final. The offense, again, as I said, but this midfield, they still have some great players, and I think tactically, France is starting to look, they're waning a little bit in my opinion. I saw that against the Ivory Coast, but I still think the individual sauce of this team is going to propel them above a lot of other teams in this tournament, and they're kind of looking like a Real Madrid, but a little bit better for me personally. I think France still has the team to get the job done and win 2 World Cups in 3 years. So give me France at number 2.
For number 2, I've got Spain. I know they got that 17-year-old. I know they're an up-and-coming team. But there's one more team that I think is better than them. So Spain too.
He's not 17 no more.
It's like Jason Tatum. When everybody was like, he's still 19.
So my number 2 is gonna be France.
Okay.
Like you said, this attack is stupid crazy.
Yeah.
There's really not much more to say than what you said. I love the vibes of this team. Vibes of this team are unreal.
All right, yeah, we'll just wait for Sergio to reconnect, but we'll just continue without him for right now. My number 1 team in the World Cup going in is Argentina. I know that you guys had Argentina a little bit lower because of the rosters of France and Spain just looking better. I still think that Lionel Scaloni is the best manager in world football. Sergio, it's asking you to restart your Chrome. So, yeah. Anyways, I'll talk about Argentina. In the meantime, Argentina, I think, still has the best manager in world football in Lionel Scaloni. They have pedigree in world football tournaments, whether that is Copa America or whether that is the World Cup. They've won 3 straight major international tournaments in a row. And if they can win 4 straight, I mean, this is the greatest international team of all time. Like, let's be honest, just in terms of what they have accomplished, this team is bar none the greatest international football team of all time. And if they can do it in an expanded World Cup, I think that just puts another feather in their cap. I think that with Argentina going into this tournament, I had them a little lower, sure, on the scale, but they still have ballers. Nico Paz is still there. Julian Alvarez is still there. And you still have Lautaro Martinez. I think this team is loaded still, even if they may be a little older than they were in 2022. And sure, it might be a little bit more difficult to reach the mountaintop, but I still think Argentina is good enough to get it done in this World Cup. So that's why I have Argentina at number 1, not only because of their roster, because I do agree that their roster might not be better than France, Spain, even Brazil, but I just think as a collective, as a team, including the manager, including the tactics, including the fan base that really eggs them on, I just think Argentina is the best team at this World Cup, and this is a last-second change for me because I had Argentina at number 2. They're my number 1 team coming into this tournament.
All right.
Sergio, who's your number 1 team?
My number 1 team is France. Kind of going off of what you guys said, their attack is insane. You got Mbappe, who went crazy the last World Cup, so I've got France winning this thing. Spoilers.
Yeah.
So my number one, it was always gonna be Spain. Always,
Okay.
always was, always is. You know, they're on that crazy streak of having they haven't lost a game in what it's been like 28 games or something like that. And I
Mm-hmm.
really think that this team is the most informed team coming into the World Cup. You know, I think if Lamine was healthy, that would further prove my number one pick. But
Yeah.
this team's getting Lamine back no matter what.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Whether he comes back at the end of these group stages or the first round of the knockouts,
Mm-hmm.
Lamine helps propel this team to the max. And even
Yeah.
without them, this attack is still really good. And just I think this Spain team is young, can do crazy things this tournament. And well, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be unexpected because it really is expected, but it's just with the young core that this team has, I think they're here and they're gonna dominate for a long time.
Yeah, I think the top three is pretty much a consensus. It's between Argentina, France, and Spain. We all had a different number one, but again, all three of these teams can go out there on their day and make some fireworks. Are there any honorable mentions before we move on for who could have been in your top 10? I have five teams that could have been in my top 10, but they weren't. Senegal is one of them. Japan is a team that I had originally in my top 10, but I'll talk a little bit about why I don't have them in my top 10 anymore. Croatia is a team that I think is still really good. Belgium, a team that Daniel you had in your top 10. They certainly can make some noise. And then Switzerland was the other team that I almost had in my top 10, but I didn't put in there. Sergio, Daniel, do you guys have any honorable mentions you want to talk about before we move on?
I left out the Netherlands in my top 10.
I mean,
I'll shout them out.
Yeah. Okay.
I had Morocco at 11 with Senegal at 12. Like,
Yeah.
I think they're two really strong African teams. I think they're always gonna do great. I think they both got really solid squads. I just didn't they weren't up there to be in number 10.
Okay. Yeah, regardless, I think these 10 World Cup teams are who we expect to do really well at this tournament. And we all had a different number one. I had Argentina, Sergio had France, Daniel had Spain. But yeah, we'll see when the World Cup comes around who really comes out on top.